Good to meet everyone. My name is Carmela. I currently work as a Salesforce consultant, and I personally have used LinkedIn in various ways, have leveraged it to build my network, to land job opportunities. So I'm really excited to kind of share this information with you all. So some of the key takeaways from this presentation is we're going to talk about how to showcase yourself, why it's important to showcase yourself on LinkedIn, how to make your headline count. The headline is the first thing people see, so we'll kind of dive into that and talk about that. How to optimize your profile for search, so you're showing up in search results. And lastly, we're going to talk about how to get creative, how to become a content creator, how you can customize your feed so that you're reading and finding relevant information on LinkedIn. And most importantly, LinkedIn is a networking platform. So how can you engage meaningfully and get involved? As we present, one thing we wanted to do is talk about what is a personal brand. We wanted to kind of set a definition and a framework for our conversation today. And the best definition we can find is the one that you see on your screen. Your brand, simply put, is what other people say about you when you're not in the room. So LinkedIn is a great platform because once you've kind of branded yourself on LinkedIn, have engaged, posted, created content, that brand speaks for itself. So even when you're not communicating with a prospective employer or recruiter, that brand can speak for you and can say things about who you are, what you stand for, what you're knowledgeable in, what you're skilled in. And that's why a personal brand is important. Now, focusing on LinkedIn as a platform to kind of showcase yourself and build your personal brand, LinkedIn is a super powerful platform to kind of supercharge your career. If you are a freelancer or if you have your business, it's a great marketing platform as well in order to have clients to reach out to. With LinkedIn, you can think of it as your live, living resume where it's continuously being updated. It's where you can showcase your skills and experiences to potential employers. It's also an opportunity for you to network. So to give you an example of the power of networking, Megan and I actually met on LinkedIn. It was through a LinkedIn message that we got connected, and we found out that we have a lot of things in common and a passion to equip people with resources and information they need to be successful in their careers. And that's how this presentation came about. So you can meet many people across the globe, and you can see that from all the people that are attending today. We have people from all over the world. So LinkedIn is an amazing platform, not only to showcase yourself, but also to build your professional network. Now let's get to the meats of it. How do you actually build your brand? Where do you start? The first thing is first impressions are everything. So you want to take a good professional headshot. You can hire a professional photographer to do this, or if you have a smartphone or camera at home, you can ask someone that lives with you or a friend to take a picture of you. Your professional headshot is the first thing that recruiters and other professionals on LinkedIn see. So you want to present yourself. You want to elevate your online presence by having a professional, clear light, well-lit photo of yourself. The next thing you should focus on is creating a memorable headline. Your headline is, think of it like your tagline. It's the first thing people see when they search for you. It's your photo, then your headline. So you want to make it count. You want it to be something that's captivating, something that's memorable, something that says, what kind of professional you are or what kind of services that you offer. So for example, if you're a professional in the Salesforce industry, you may want to include Salesforce administrator or business analyst in your headline. And as we talk about this, we also have some examples of really great profiles for you to look at so that you can kind of see what we're telling you in application. And last but not least, the least utilized tool on LinkedIn is your banner. Your banner is your marketing platform, really. So as people search for you, there's your photo, there's your headline, and also your banner also shows. So that's another area in which you can utilize to reinforce your personal brand. You can use the banner as a way of adding pictures to show potential employers or recruiters like key certifications you have, for example. You can use it to show your creativity. It's really a way to kind of reinforce the brand that you're building about yourself. So to kind of see this in action, we have some examples of great profiles that we found in which their professional photo, their headline, their banner all say who they are, how they present themselves, what their personal brand is. So looking at Nick here, you can see that he is clearly a Salesforce professional. He's affiliated with the military. You can see the certs he has, what his qualifications are. And then in his headline, you can right away see what he does, at what company, how he's certified. So how he's positioning himself and the personal brand he's building for himself is showcasing himself as a Salesforce professional, a very qualified Salesforce professional. And then look at that picture. It's amazing. It's clear light, well lit, smiling, very approachable picture. So that's a great example. Another one to highlight that's slightly different is Susan's profile. You can see that Susan is, she owns her own business. So right from her profile, her banner is advertising her business. So her business is to help women negotiate their salaries better. And you can clearly see that. There's like action you can take, which is visiting her website. And then her tag, her headline too, it speaks to what she's doing. So she helps high performing women get paid fairly by teaching them how to negotiate. So anyone who searches for her knows exactly what Susan is about, what her brand is. Another thing I'll point out here with her is she has what we'll talk about later, the creator mode, which allows her to kind of highlight the things that she talks about. And that's something that Megan will cover a little bit more later on in our presentation. And then at the bottom, we have other examples for you to look at as well. So, feel free to, you don't have to reinvent the wheel as well. You can look up anybody on LinkedIn, see how they present themselves, and then mimic their style too. If you feel like you resonate with Nick, for example, and you're like, oh, that's great, I would love to have my certifications up on my banner, you can do that. So utilize those as resources for you to model after. The next thing we want to talk about is how do you optimize your LinkedIn profile so that you're showing up in search results, so that your profile is the first thing that shows up when they search for the brand that you're building for yourself. So the first section is your About Me section. This is a great real estate for you to kind of highlight your skills and experiences you have for jobs that you're targeting. If you're a business owner, this is a great area for you to create a profile for yourself, highlighting exactly what you do, what services you offer. You also want to be authentic. You want to show your personality in your About Me section. Let it not just be, facts and bullets, but really spur it up. Show a little bit about you and your personality. And you want to make sure you're targeting keywords that so that when your profile is being searched, those keywords are being pulled from the About Me section as well. And that's true for any of the other sections that we'll mention. The next section is your experience section. This is where you have the list of jobs that your past experience. So the main thing to take away from this is don't neglect the description section. Utilize the description section, add bullets relevant to jobs that you're targeting. So look up job descriptions for the types of jobs you're targeting and take those key terms and skills and see how they apply to the past experiences you have and translate those into powerful bullets. Another thing people neglect is including relevant training experience that they have under their experience section. LinkedIn calls it experience and not just jobs, right? They don't call it past jobs. So take that to your advantage. So for example, if you're a Salesforce professional, you can put Trailhead as the company. And then you can put Salesforce Administrator as the job title. And then in the description, you can write bullets on things that you're accomplishing and learning through the Trailhead platform. The other section is skills. In the skills section, these skills sections are used in the search terms when recruiters are searching for you. So what a recruiter uses to search for potential employees is they have like a whole search platform, and you can look this up on Google yourself as well. And you can see they specifically search for system administrator, business analyst. So they search for key terms. So you want to target those in the skills section for yourself. So definitely utilize that. Use that as a way to match it to the kind of jobs that you're targeting and to showcase the skills you have as well. The next two that I'm going to talk about is something that's often overlooked by individuals, and that's your industry and your URL. The industry should match the industry that you're targeting. You know, as a professional, what industry are you in, or what industry are you wanting to go into, most importantly? So for example, if you're a tech professional, you should update your industry to information technology and services. Why that's important is because sometimes recruiters specifically, to narrow down their search, they specifically search for people in specific industries. So take that to your advantage. If you're a business owner, sometimes when people look for services on LinkedIn, they can search by industry as well. So take that to your advantage as well, by having a relevant industry on your profile. The other thing is your URL. LinkedIn allows you to customize your LinkedIn profile URL. So make that something that's professional. It can be your full name. It could be your name plus maybe some keywords you're targeting as a professional. So you can take that to your advantage. And lastly, it's your education and certs. So any training program you've attended, any degrees that you've earned, any relevant certifications that you have, you want to update that. And I mentioned earlier how LinkedIn is a living document, right? Like it's a living piece of information. So as you go along, continuously update your LinkedIn to represent where you're going, what you're targeting, and what you're wanting your professional brand to be. And to show you an example of this, we found a great example of someone who kind of in their About Me section does a great job, a great balance of representing what their brand is and also like targeting some key terms so that as anybody looks at their profile, they can clearly see this person is a digital marketing specialist. They can see exactly how many years of experience they have. They can see exactly what in their brand and what their experience, what they can bring to the table is represented within the first few sentences that you read on their profile. The one thing I want to point out here is your About Me section. The first 3 lines is the first thing people see when they're on your profile before they have to click see more. And oftentimes when people are scanning your LinkedIn profile, they don't click see more. So you want to make sure the first 3 lines is really the powerful statement, and then everything else that comes after it is really being leveraged to be able to target keywords. So for him here, you can see that he's targeting skills and tools that he uses. He's also targeting some terms that are in job descriptions of responsibilities of a marketing analyst. So you can kind of model yours after this as well. He also has an awesome headline. So you'll see on LinkedIn, a lot of people use this line breaker to separate different things that they want their brand to represent, or they want their, job titles. So you can model after that as well. Last but not least, you have one, if everything else wasn't enough, LinkedIn provides you one more section to kind of leverage to build your personal brand, and that's the featured section. The featured section is awesome because you can add pictures, you can add, you can kind of build your professional portfolio. You can include examples of your work. You can include accomplishments that you've completed in this feature section, and it kind of allows you to pull the reader's eye to the center of your profile to really highlight their laser focus what they're looking at in what you want them to focus on. So this actually is a screenshot from my LinkedIn profile. When someone comes to my LinkedIn profile, I want them to know that I'm a dedicated Salesforce professional, and I want them to see the accomplishments that I've had. So in my feature section, I wanted them to see, hey, I have these certs. I am a ranger status. But for you, it might look different, but definitely utilize this section to highlight what your professional and personal brand is, and what you are wanting others to say about you when you're not in the room. Next, we're gonna have Megan kind of take a different spin on LinkedIn. So right now we kind of talked about search terms and how you can build your profile. Megan is going to take a different spin and share more about with you as well.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. So you're going to be listening for the next probably 10 minutes to a content creator's side of LinkedIn. So if you have any questions, definitely make sure just to put it in the chat and we'll get to it as well. So being active on LinkedIn, it's not something that I actually did. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this presentation, that was probably into like the mid of the pandemic. Just like a funny story behind things as to how things started was that my husband and I were working from home. I was talking to him a lot, and I kind of needed an outlet other than him to talk to. So I decided to turn on my iMovie on my Mac and got on YouTube and just started creating content. And it was very nice to be able to find a community of people on different social media platforms over time, just that had the same thoughts as you. They wanted to grow, they wanted to learn. And honestly, LinkedIn is very much changing. It's not the typical I got a job and that's all I hear and know about you. It's more of I want to hear the struggles and what you're doing on a daily basis and how you got to where you are. And that's kind of how the Get Creative by Being on LinkedIn happened. So let's go ahead and go through these 4 bullet points. So the first is get creative by writing content. So you don't, like I said, you don't have to follow the typical standards of what LinkedIn says you might have had to do a few years ago. You can get in and be a thought leader, talk about what you're doing. How are you studying differently than other people? And this goes for Salesforce professionals, but also anybody else that's on here too. What tools have you found helpful? Some of my most useful content has been about productivity, making days easier. So that's just one idea. The second one is engage meaningfully. When we get certifications, and I'm going to be speaking to the Salesforce industry, or just tech in general, when we get certifications, we typically just maybe say congratulations. And it's very standard. And even LinkedIn gives you that suggestion. Say congratulations. But by making your content stand out and be more meaningful and engaging with that person, they remember you. So there's many times where I see people write 2 or 3 sentences, or just doesn't have to be anything specific, but if it makes you stand out, that's how you can start engaging meaningfully with people. The next thing would be customizing your feed. Connect with people that are in your interest. So like if you want to learn more about productivity, then follow somebody that's talking about that. If you want to learn more about NFTs, that's a hot word today, then you follow somebody that's in that. You have the entire search bar to be able to find people who are doing cool things. The nice thing about LinkedIn is that they actually have a followed section now, where depending on the content that you're creating and writing about, you'll start seeing more people come up in your followed suggestions. So along with those normal connections that you have, perhaps from your job or from your undergrad that's listed on your profile, now LinkedIn has it where you can follow people that are actually of interest to you. So that's a huge improvement from LinkedIn. And that's how you can start customizing your feed. Fourth, it's get involved. That's something that I did not do until probably mid last year. And I've absolutely loved meeting everybody and just getting to be a part of groups that I never thought that I would be a part of. And I think when you start expanding, not only within the industry that you're working with, but if you're interested in personal branding, there are a whole bunch of groups out there that are doing that. A lot of things, both virtual and in person. So these would be my 4 tips on how to start becoming more active outside of the typical ways on LinkedIn of just saying hi or meeting somebody. I'll just go ahead and go to the next slide. Perfect. All right. So how do you leverage yourself from the LinkedIn algorithm? So at the beginning of this, I actually took a LinkedIn course and I got taught by a LinkedIn coach for 4 weeks where we met people globally from all over and we all came up with different ideas on how can I reach people on a wider extent outside of the United States. Just because when you meet people globally, you find really cool people out there. So again, you want to aim for for comments. You want to spark engagement. Disagreements are even healthier out there. So make sure that you're aiming for comments, you're commenting on people's things, you're active, and you're engaging in conversations. Engage with creators. That's another way too. So if you, again, follow people that you are interested in, topics, certain areas, you can just engage with them, talk about their interests, because once you start posting on there, then you'll be able to see more conversations of such, and be able to expose yourself to different people that might like your idea. I've met a lot of cool people where I comment on a contents post and they reach out to me and then we get a cool new engagement. Third would be post and engage frequently. I want to talk on this part specifically. There are a lot of challenges out there where you post daily, and I support that, right? Because it kind of pushes you to get out there and comment more and pushes yourself more than anybody else. But don't get caught up with posting daily. Don't force yourself when it's not necessary. The content should come genuinely to you. You should post on things that you want to share with others. If it's a trick, if it's a good book, write about those things, because the more genuine your content is, the more you start attracting people who actually want to be in that circle of what you're talking about. So I'll give an example. I like 2 weeks ago, I think at this point, I had to put on LinkedIn that I just needed a content break. And by giving yourself that break and coming back, you come back more genuine. So definitely make sure that the biggest tip I would say here is just give yourself that break, and then post when you want to, when it's meaningful to you. Last thing would be pick key content types. What do you want to be posting about? Are you going to be posting pictures? I'm a big person in that, videos. But LinkedIn algorithm does have specifics for what they do like. LinkedIn does not like when you have a video in the section. Sorry, I got distracted by a comment. But when you have, for my YouTube videos, for example, I used to post them right in my description, which was actually against LinkedIn's algorithm. They like it when you post it in the comment section, because when you divert yourself from LinkedIn itself, they kind of push you towards we're not going to push this person's content so much. So whatever you're sharing, if it's a link, make sure it's in the comment section. In terms of what LinkedIn really does like, that's going to be text, of course. They love images. They love polls. I've seen a lot of reach with polls, pretty much, because that reaches a broader audience, especially if you have a different type of question. And again, just avoid adding those links into your post. Instead, add it into the comment section. So we'll just go ahead and go to the next one. Hi, Laurie. All right. So again, just to kind of touch on this, some of the best brands, who is a best brand out there? Who are people that you enjoy seeing and reading their posts on? To me, those are people that are sharing their experiences, especially within the Salesforce industry. If you're failing at an exam and you didn't do well, I want to see how you feel after that and what emotions did you deal with that to be able to move forward. I'm not a big fan of seeing people succeed all the time. I want to see what you're doing. If you're nervous, I'm pretty nervous about presenting right now. So I want to hear about that. How did you overcome stage fright, for example? So again, what are some of the best brands? They're powerful, they're authentic, they're consistent, they're visible, and most importantly, they're valuable. If you can leave from somebody's post learning one thing, and if it's one person, I want to talk about this too. If it's one person that likes your post and you made a difference and a value in that person's life, then you left with you left winning at the end of the day. You left winning and helping somebody else. So always remember that. All right. Thank you. So just for some challenges, if you are interested and you have been posting for a while, or if you want to start posting and take your content up to the next level, there is something called creator mode. So this is going to be on your LinkedIn profile. This is directly from my profile on the right. As you can see where the little yellow arrow is pointing, there's a creator mode where you can switch that little tab to going from off to on. Now, earlier when I was talking about how you can follow people, what you have right now, if you don't have this creator mode on, is that you have a connect. When you turn this creator mode on, you turn on the follow. Another thing that we're going to talk about here in a few seconds, and if you want to just, yeah, thank you. There are topics that you can speak on. So if you went to my profile, for example, right now, you can see that you can talk up to 5 areas, 5 topics. I have these 5 on right now, and you can completely change them. One thing that I would suggest doing is just going through LinkedIn, typing these topics in and seeing how active is that platform and that certain topic. So definitely take a look into that. But this way you can start attracting people who want to read about what you're doing. There's also LinkedIn newsletters that you can start doing, getting your content out there. I've seen some people recently start doing a whole bunch of newsletters, and that's been really fun to see. If you do a newsletter, well, what happened is, of course, you'll post it, but anybody who's subscribed to your newsletter will also get an email for it too. So these are great ways I'm able to boosting up your posts. We'll just go to the next slide. So it's your turn. I had to do this for my my course, my LinkedIn course here. So y'all have to do it too. What you're going to do is take 3 actions this week. You're going to create a post on what you learned from this session today. Go ahead and tag us, tag anybody else that you see and that you know in here, and also connect with each other, right? Most likely you all are in the Salesforce industry, so get to know people, see what they're doing. So make sure you connect with people. You can drop your LinkedIn's in here, connect with each other. Second is engage through commenting and liking other people's posts, and make sure that that comment is genuine. Remember, you want to say things outside of congratulations or good luck. Make sure that you're actually sending a meaningful post to people. They remember you that way. And then last but not least is identify 10 people this week, or even from today's session. Thank you, Sean, for putting in your LinkedIn. But one thing we really, really want to touch on here is that when you send connection requests, add a note in, tell them why you're engaging with them. That's something that really helped me in my journey. And it doesn't need to be anything specific. Like, hey, I read your post and I really liked it. I would like to be able to continue engaging with you. Hope to connect. Hope you have a great day. Just make that note in there. It makes you stand out. I know a lot of people are starting to kind of pivot away from I don't know you. We all have that kind of mindset sometimes. But make that note fun, right? And then continue that relationship, nurture it. You don't need to talk to them every week. But just stay engaged with people. That's why we have social media.